Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. I hope you've all had a fantastic weekend. Hope you had a good day. Hope your weekend's been good so far. Hope you've all had a good Saturday evening and I hope you've all had a good day in general. Good evening to all of you amazing people on this channel, on this community. First of all, do me a massive favour for me, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video. Hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to put the notification bell on all times received dedicated brand new content planned for the rest of 2024 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube for more Fortnite, Rocket League, EA, Formula 1, previews, match reactions. We've got the summer transfer window covered right throughout the 2024 summer transfer window this year across all the Premier League, EFL, European leagues, and much more brand new exclusive football content coming to the channel. And obviously, yet again, it is now 3 points from 12 for Manchester United in their last 4 Premier League games. No wins in 4, 7 Premier League games now without any points or any recognition of Man United even trying to get a win. And it's now a season where forget European football, forget Champions League football. And I would pretty much forget that, getting in the Champions League or trying to get anywhere near Europe next season, I would say to Man United fans, absolutely forget it. Because we aren't good enough. We don't deserve to be in Europe. We don't deserve to be amongst Europe's elite. Manchester United deserve to be nowhere near European football. Based on that today, if Man United think that is acceptable to perform the way they are performing away from home when you've played your last 4 games against Liverpool, Chelsea, Bournemouth and Brentford. 3 points from 12. 3 points from 12. That ain't acceptable. Oh, for what now? I'm in here. I'm on my YouTube. 3 points from 12. And I don't understand where this season's going to go. Honestly, now, you cannot go away from Bournemouth and play the way they perform today. You can't set up with no direction, no clear plan, and no identity of how to set up a proper Manchester United team away to a Bournemouth team that have been amazing football inside this year in the Premier League, who play fantastic football with a traditional front three, with 2 great wingers on either side of the pitch. And then you've got a world-class striker, Dominic Solanke, absolutely sitting down Manchester United's back four with absolute ease. And Man United think it is acceptable to keep performing at these standards every single game. Since that Liverpool FA Cup game, we've not won nothing. We've won no games in our last 4. 3 points from 12. And Ten Hag clearly is taking this club nowhere. Clearly, time has run out. Ten Hag looks absolutely shell-shocked on the touchline, where as a United fan, I ain't surprised the way we're performing. And there's going to be fans out there and supporters out there who think a point is worth celebrating. And that is the standards, not just of the fans, but some of these Manchester United supporters as well. The standards of this football club is an absolute joke. And people are going to celebrate a point is well worth taking away to a Bournemouth team who have been pretty much in the bottom half of the Premier League all fucking season. And I am extremely embarrassed with the way Man United don't have a clue how to perform. I don't see what the direction we're going in. And United are poor in every aspect of that game, not just in the first half, not just in the second half, but the whole game as a whole. Every phase of that performance today, what was the direction under Ten Hag to try and somehow rescue any chance of winning this game. Because the first goal, I see Man United fan after Man United fan absolutely complaining and moaning about the amount of water and the amount of conditions that Bournemouth pitch is in. And again, that is basically trying to cover up the excuses for those Man United players to get away with a complete and utter shambolic away performance again. And people are blaming the pitch. That pitch has got to be watered. That pitch has got to be kept in a good condition for this game to go ahead. There are certain rules in the Premier League that pitches have got to have certain standards of specification that pitch has got to be deemed playable. If you leave that pitch to dry out, it is going to absolutely rot, just like the bad summer heat wave we had last year in 2023. If you leave that pitch unwatered and doesn't get looked after, that Bournemouth pitch is going to be an absolute mess. And I see sections of Man United fans and supporters moaning on certain other United fan channels, blaming the state of that pitch for the first goal. Let's be honest here. If you're going to cover up Man United's players' mistakes, don't blame the bloody pitch, because that is basically protection over these incompetent bottle jobs who can't do their job properly. If you're going to blame the pitch, then you clearly have got no clue what football is. That pitch has got to be watered because it's in the Premier League rules. And people are blaming that because Kabwala has slipped on the pitch and left Dominic Solanke in an easy clear one-on-one against Onana. People are blaming the pitch for the first goal. Kabwala, all that hype since Liverpool, that he had a world-class phenomenal performance, has been absolutely sat down for the first goal. He should know better. He should keep his balance and he should put his body presence in a lot more stronger position to keep himself stable and up on the pitch properly instead of slipping right on his ass and costing United for the first goal. There is a lack of experience there. The lack of Premier League experience in that centre-back is clear to the naked eye. He slips, gets sat down by Dominic Solanke, and Solanke gives him a big, massive L. But then what annoys me after, Onana should be doing better as well. If David De Gea was kept at Manchester United this season, instead of bringing in this world-class £60 million goalkeeper that was meant to be the answer for Manchester United to stop conceding goals, and clearly Manchester United put all this hope, all this promise that Onana was finding the way to go forward with the way Ten Hag wanted to integrate his style of play at Manchester United. We have faced this season alone over 565 shots altogether in this Premier League season. 565 shots on Manchester United's goal. Onana clearly can't dive low to his left. He can't dive low to his right. And at the moment, that first goal is massively preventable. And Onana should be getting to the ball. Onana should be keeping that first Bournemouth goal out. It is absolutely embarrassing that we've got a goalkeeper who can't dive low to keep out a low, hard finesse shot that goes straight into Onana's bottom right-hand corner. Onana should be doing better. That first goal is massively, massively preventable. And then when we get the equaliser through, again, Bruno Fernandes, who all of a sudden seems to be now stepping up as Manchester United's captain after 3 games of complete moaning like a little 5-year-old baby, all of a sudden we get that equalising goal through a lack of Bournemouth defensive quality, which was clear to the naked eye, that cost Bournemouth their first goal to be conceded. And then all of a sudden, we seem to got inspired, and all of a sudden, we turned into a light. We somehow got ignited and started to play better football. But again, it's defensive calamity after defensive calamity that are costing Manchester United goals. And the second Bournemouth goal is absolutely embarrassing that we concede. Diego Dalot is separated miles apart from Kabwala, is massively separated from him. And there's this big, massive gap between both the right back and Kabwala as our centre back. And the Bournemouth player has been allowed to provide a free assist to Justin Kluivert, who has been an absolute breath of fresh air for this Bournemouth team, who adds pure attacking quality to that Bournemouth left wing, which was clearly being missed from Bournemouth all last season. And he's been allowed to go in free roaming inside our own penalty area, and not one of those players has decided to either block the shot, put a hard low block in, or try to put the ball out for at least a corner or a Bournemouth throw. And they've allowed Justin Kluivert to get a free shot on goal. And the problem is, again, Onana at the right-hand post has conceded 2 goals in exactly the same bloody position and let Bournemouth get back into this game and lead 2-1. And then it just makes you laugh. And then Diego Dalot's got his arms like that, moaning and complaining like this. He's literally got his arms out like this, complaining, saying, where's the covering? Why is no one protecting that gap? And this is the problem between Diego Dalot and Kabwala. Because the gap has been left way too big, that gap is going to expose Manchester United's lack of defensive awareness to allow a quick, versatile winger like Kluivert through on Man United's goal. And then you're letting him free roam inside our own penalty area, gets a free shot on goal. But again, at fault for the conceding the goals, not just Onana. Harry Maguire and then Kabwala decide to step right in front of Onana's line of sight, and it's gone into the bottom right-hand corner. And Bournemouth, to be fair, deserved a 2-1 lead. But when I thought we got that equaliser, I honestly did thought that would inspire us to start playing the football we could have started playing today. And we did for the next 4 or 5 minutes. But as soon as that Bournemouth goal was conceded to Bournemouth to get back ahead 2-1, Man United absolutely collapsed again. And then, again, through a calamity of defensive lack of awareness again, Kluivert is through one-on-one with Onana through a delicious cross from the other Bournemouth player. And Justin Kluivert has been left with the most easiest of finishes, unmarked, in our penalty area again. And no one's round him. Can we not defend properly? Do we not man mark properly? I don't understand why we play such a high line and let these Bournemouth young, versatile wingers get inside our penalty area again, free roaming on goal. And it's getting, quite frankly, embarrassing that this Man United team is becoming way too easy to play against, and it's only going to get worse. We should have got a goalie like Diego Costa, completely agree. And we need a new centre-back. It's like Ten Hag is just waiting for something to happen, but he has to do stuff himself. Exactly. And if you look at the full-time whistle, that manager looks absolutely gone. I look at the body language. I look at the facial expressions. I think Eric Ten Hag knows the job's gone. I think Eric Ten Hag deep down knows that this job's gone. He ain't going to be in charge next season. Ten Hag is going to be out of the door of Man United Football Club by the end of the season. I think he knows his job's gone. And I think they are already preparing for his departure. Because quite clearly today, those players did not play for the manager. They didn't play for the fans. They didn't play for the supporters. They basically went back to being their own selfish little individual egos, that those players think that they're absolutely phenomenal, talented, world-class footballers. And when you have got bang, average, pathetic, slow and lethargic crap that this fan base has to witness every single fucking game, it is getting embarrassing to watch. I am struggling to watch 90 minutes because of how bad we have actually got. The football is boring, it's lethargic, it's slow. There's no free-flowing attacking football. We seem to park the bus and then try and break Bournemouth on the counter-attack. And that happened for the whole 90 minutes. And it got so boring that Bournemouth nearly picked us off at the end. And I do feel sorry for Bournemouth. I do think it's a clear Stonewall penalty. Kabwala's foot is on the line of the penalty area. And quite clearly, Kabwala has clearly fouled Ryan Christie. I think for me, it is a clear stonewall penalty. I think Bournemouth have been robbed of a vital 3 points. I think Bournemouth have been wrongly undone by VAR. I think United are lucky they have kept 10 men on the pitch today through the defensive calamity from our back four yet again. But it's just the whole dynamic of this team. I just don't get what we're trying to do. I don't see where these players are trying to get influential performances in different phases of the game today. These players are really, really lazy. They are the most bunch of lazy players I've ever known in my life. We were playing better football under Mourinho. We were playing better football under Van Gaal. We were playing better football under Solskjaer, and we were playing way much better football under Ralph Rangnick. And all of a sudden, season 2 syndrome hits in, and we have gone back to what happened in season 2 of Mourinho. We did it under Solskjaer in season 2. We went back to boring football to try and save ourselves some pure embarrassment yet again. And it's just going to absolutely shot this season completely. These players are good, but the consistency is shambolic. I don't rate these players. I do not rate this squad. I do not rate these players. I think they're a shambles. I think they're a disgrace. And they're clearly not stepping up. And again, where you're having to rely on your captain, that all of a sudden that has brought Bruno Fernandes into life, all of a sudden now, he is starting to deliver the goals we all thought Bruno Fernandes could. But you can see, if he isn't moaning, he's whinging. If he isn't whinging, he's moaning. If he ain't complaining, he's whinging. And that is all the vibe I get off our captain. I don't get a leadership role there. I don't get any confidence from that guy. I don't see a player that's committed to leading this team out week after week. I see a player that looks frustrated, shell-shocked. I see a player here that clearly is purely frustrated because the players he's got in front of him are crap. And I think they are. I think this whole dynamic of this game today wasn't good enough because of the way Manchester United do not step up when the going gets tough. When the going gets tough, Manchester United give up. They don't want to fight. They don't want to win. They don't want to perform when they know that points are desperately needed. I don't see any positives from this game today. It is 3 points from 12. And if fans are going to celebrate a point, you have got as low a standards as some of these players and the squad, the coaches and the manager. If fans are going to celebrate a point and think it's good enough, I'm afraid to say you are part of the problem at Manchester United Football Club. If fans are going to celebrate Bruno Fernandes scoring a late penalty, which obviously is a clear stonewall penalty again. Adam Smith clearly handballs the shot coming in from the Manchester United player. I think it was either Marcus Rashford or Kobe Mainoo. And at the end of the day, I'm morally frustrated at a club that is clearly showing a lack of care or a lack of responsibility. I look at these individuals and they're not playing as a team. It's clearly gone back to being individuality. There's clearly no direction that this club wants to work together. There's no direction that this club is willing to fight for one another. This club has got no fucking standards. It is individual FC, and individual FC. And the thing is, it's always going to look worse when it looks better. And apparently people say things can only get worse and then things will look better. Things aren't going to get better. I would always look at the positives, and from this game, all I can think of is we didn't lose, but still not good enough. We deserved a loss. Clear penalty for Bournemouth. And it was close, but it crossed the line. Yeah, I think Bournemouth have been robbed of a clear penalty. And if I was a Bournemouth fan, I would be massively frustrated. I would be massively mugged off, because if that isn't a penalty, then I'm afraid to say I don't know really what is a penalty in this game anymore. I think football has completely and utterly lost its head this season. I think football is so dead that it is like watching a funeral. Honestly, it is so damn boring that Manchester United are performing the way they're performing. Like, when you're relying on your midfield for goals, it clearly shows, again, that this club has got no clear structure or no clear plan how to find the back of the net without a clear striker. And again, I don't know what has happened to Rasmus Højlund. I have got no clue what has happened to Rasmus Højlund. I have got absolutely no clue what has happened to him. But he doesn't look like the same player. He doesn't look like the player we all thought he was. And how many games is he gone now without a goal? So we've gone 5 games in a row now, and Rasmus Højlund has failed to find the back of the net. And again, I'm not blaming Rasmus Højlund internally, but it's the lack of care from our wingers. It's a lack of care from the boss. And I think there's a lack of care for the structure behind the scenes. I honestly do think that when you've got a striker who's only, again, 20 years of age and is still trying to adapt to Premier League football, and now all of a sudden, as soon as he stopped scoring goals, then there's going to be clearly problems. And the problem is, if Man United would have signed 2 world-class strikers that they wanted in the summer last year in 2023, then Man United would not have found the problems they've got. And the problem is, if you've got problems like this, it's only going to find the front three lacking even more confidence to get the ball forward and score goals. And again, every aspect in that team today looked weak. That team looked tired. That team looked knackered. But all I'm hearing is, let's get the little violin out. We've lost Varane to injury. We've lost Mctominay to injury. Oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? The injuries have cost us. The injuries are to blame for this season's downfall. The injuries are part of the problem. I am sick of the excuses. And it is really, really boring. This is no excuse to perform without necessary players in that team. Manchester United have got players in that club that are on these big fucking huge contracts who are paid 350,000 to 400 grand a week to play shit, embarrassing football. And if performing like that, I wouldn't pay them. I'd be like, if you're going to perform like that again, get the fuck out. Because without Bruno Fernandes today rescuing a point, and people can celebrate a point as much as you want. If you want to celebrate a point and thinking it's absolutely fantastic that United didn't lose, then I'm sorry, I would get some perspective. That if you want to celebrate points, go and support somebody like Burnley. Because at the end of the day, Man United are on about winning titles, winning trophies, winning silver, and being the best ever club and getting back to the top very, very quickly. You've got to look at the manager here. I don't know what Ten Hag again is doing with the subs. If you look at the way that midfield was and you look at the way that front three was, you've got to judge. Casemiro, I don't know what's happened to him recently, but he's absolutely fallen off a fucking cliff. He's absolutely fallen off a cliff. I don't know if that's fatigue. I don't know if that's injury. I clearly don't know where we brought this world-class CDM for Real Madrid in, and all of a sudden, Season 2 second syndrome has hit Casemiro by an absolute bullet. It has absolutely wrecked his season. Any consistency, any demonstration of a CDM that has still got the world at his feet. A CDM that was meant to sort out that CDM role for Manchester United for the next 3 to 4 years. Again, that's 2 games in a row that Casemiro has been bang fucking average. I don't know what's happened, but it's getting to a point now that Ten Hag is still favouring a lot of these players over others. I think, again, the team selection's wrong. I think some of the substitutions were an absolute disgrace in that second half. How you've got a bench of, you've got Amrabat on that bench, Eriksen on that bench, Mount, Ahmad. I mean, the only 2 players that came onto that pitch in the second half was Ahmad and Mount, and did basically fuck all. The only bright aspect was probably Ahmad in the first 5 to 10 minutes. But apart from that, what did we really do going forward to make Mount and Mainu stand out as 2 world-class midfielders in the second half? They did absolutely fuck all in terms of performance. I did not see any term of psychological boost. I saw a team that looked completely deflated, a lack of quality, a lack of clear direction. I don't know what's going on. But it's getting tiring. It's getting really pathetic having to keep slagging these players off because they can't perform. And I'm seeing it from every other Premier League club. Premier League clubs are coming out saying these players don't deserve the shit they get on social media. They don't deserve to be called this, that, and the other. I can't stand player protection, by the way. I can't stand these players are getting their hand held. Like, we're not at preschool. We're not trying to cross a zebra crossing here. We're not trying to cross a busy junction on a main road. These are professional fucking footballers who are getting protected for shit amateurish performances. And at Manchester United, it's please don't say this, please don't say that, be nice, be respectful, be positive, don't be negative, please don't say this. I'm fucking done with that. If you want to be nicey approach, and I think that is the road we're all heading down. I think that's the only direction this way everybody's heading down. It's been too nicey. I'm fucking sick of it. If you want to be too nicey approach, then you are on the wrong planet. Because at the end of the day, if you want to stick with a nicey approach, then I'm afraid this standard of football is going to carry on at United for the next 5 to 10 years, where we are still going to absolute frustrate the hell out of the fans, blame the supporters, blame everything on us. But when the players are performing shit, please don't say this, please don't say that. You can't say this, you can't say that. And I'm afraid at the end of the day, Man United players deserve criticism. They've not won their last 4 fucking games playing wank amateurish football with a clear lack of any plan to win that game against Bournemouth today. There was no plan from the minute go what to do. I look at these players and all I see is them looking at each other, and they don't know what to do. And again, that is down to a lack of leadership. That's down to a lack of quality. And that's down to a lack of squad depth. I can't stand the injuries. And it ain't no excuse. You can't keep using injuries as an excuse. Luton have had more injuries and their manager doesn't even acknowledge it after an embarrassing result. He's a proper manager. Exactly. Clearly not trying to use the injuries as an excuse. Even though they've got injuries, they don't go on about it week after week after week after week. But the problem is Man United, they have gone on about it for so fucking long that they're now influencing the results on the pitch, that they are carrying on using, well, we've got this injury here, we've got that injury there, we've got this injury, we've got that injury, we've got that injury. That is all I fucking hear. And the problem is, certain players don't step up because when they've got certain players that are not available or are injured, then they don't like it because they know they've got to go up their own way and absolutely step up even more, where the quality is clearly lacking to the naked eye again. That performance was shambolic. As a Bournemouth fan, I think we deserve to win. I don't think Man United deserved anything more than a point today, not even a point. I didn't think we deserved nothing. I think Bournemouth have been clearly robbed by VAR. But as fans and supporters, and Mark Goldbridge said this on the United Stand at half-time, that he's blaming the fucking pitch for being watered. I mean, get the fuck over it, Mark. Stop fucking moaning about the pitch being watered where it's got to be watered anyway for player protection and player safety, and get the fuck on with it. This is fucking football. Football pitches have got to be looked after at a professional level. If you want the Bournemouth pitch to turn into a B-Tech Wembley where the ball just bobbles everywhere, then go and watch League Two, because I don't understand what Mark Goldbridge is talking about. He is blaming the pitch for the first goal. Cabral clearly at fault. There's no doubt about that. There's a young, inexperienced centre-back that has been chucked in at the deep end. And you get all this praise for him. He turns up 2.5 hours earlier before training commences. He goes through all these injury external protocols to keep himself fit and keep himself clearly strong. I'm done with him. If just because one decent performance against Liverpool, it doesn't make you a world-class centre-back. And clearly, when you've been sat down on your ass, just like Steven Gerrard did when he slipped on his fucking bum and cost Liverpool their Premier League title that season against Chelsea, Cabral has basically done the Gerrard. He has slipped on his ass. And the problem is, you know what's going to happen in that moment. Soon as Dominic Slanky gets that ball, you know what he's going to do. He's going to find the back of the net and he's going to score. But both goals are preventable. But again, it's down to that lazy back four who can't defend properly. Against a low ball, a low block, we can't do fuck all. We don't know what we're doing, basically. We have got no clue what this United team is meant to be. There's clearly still massive favouritism going on. There's certain players in this squad that shouldn't be kicking a ball for us ever again. And the problem is, because the recruitment is shocking and the players we brought in are crap and the players we've got at this club shouldn't be here, you are going to get more of this shit time and time and time and time again. We should have won this game. Forget Champions League football. Forget European football. At this rate, we are going to be lucky to make the Europa Conference League because that's the only road United are heading down. We are heading deeper and deeper into the Europa Conference League. And that is going to be a fucking massive slap in the face next season where we are playing shit Europa Conference League football on a Thursday night against some B-Tech farmer teams that we know United are going to smash. Based on today, 3 points from 12, I'm surprised Ten Hag's not out the door at this moment in time. Because I look at a manager that's lost. I look at a manager that clearly has had not any proper backing. I look at a manager and I look at the favouritism of certain players in the last few games. How Rashford keeps on playing for this club absolutely bewilders me. And the sub that really infuriated me the most, Rashford has had a shit game for the whole 90 minutes. I don't get how this guy is still playing for Manchester United Football Club. Marcus Rashford is better off getting the fuck out of this club and go and resurrect your career somewhere else. Because I'm looking at the state of this club now. If we end up in that Conference League, do you honestly think big players and better players are going to want to come here and play for a club that is a complete fucking turmoil? This club is basically on a life support machine. We're in a coma, we're ill, and we're on a life support machine. And we are basically holding our breath to the last ever breath we make till that life support gives up and you go, you pass. That is the fucking problem. United are on life support because they don't know what they're doing. They don't have no clue how to sort this mess out. And apparently we've got no clear candidate to fucking bring in if we sack Ten Hag. And apparently if we sack Ten Hag, it's going to cost the club 20 million. Repeating the cycle every 2 years is not going to help. But the last few games, I am seeing the same old bang average, don't know what we're doing football. We are going into these games blind. We are going into these games scared of playing this opposition. We are going to end up competing with teams like Brentford and Bournemouth in the future if we carry on playing like this. We are going to end up becoming a mid-table scrap relegation fighting team if we don't change this football up because clearly it's not working. There's clear direction of what to do at this club. The favouritism of certain players has got to stop after today. Subbing Garnacho off for Ahmad was a massive mistake. If Ten Hag had any balls or any fight or any charisma about him at all as manager for this football club, he would have taken off Rashford, got Garnacho on the left and then got Ahmad on the right. Because as I've stated in the last few weeks, we need to build a team around these three. It's not working with Rashford. It's not going to work with Sancho. It's not going to work with Pellistri. We need to realise that now. And people can use, well, we had no choice but to bring off Garnacho for Ahmad because apparently Garnacho was injured. I think Garnacho was taken off because he was shit. That performance again, why Ten Hag is carrying on playing Garnacho on the right wing when he's not a fucking right winger? It's getting to the point now that I'm getting pissed off with it. Ten Hag needs to realise here, he is pushing himself closer and closer to the sack if he keeps on playing players at a position that don't favour their style of play. Garnacho is not a right winger. He's a fucking left winger with a right foot. That is where Garnacho should be. But because Ten Hag is too scared to drop Rashford or fucking get rid of him, he wants the favouritism there. So either they're trying to build a price up for Rashford so he can get out the club in the summer, or again, they are trying to rebuild this club around Marcus Rashford. And it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work quickly, and it ain't going to work anytime soon. If you want to build a team around Marcus Rashford might as well just leave the football club and go and play with his own team because he ain't suiting his style of play. You see a player who's lazy, who doesn't run for the ball, who doesn't fight back for a tackle, who doesn't close down the opposition players. That is a complete clown. Absolute clown. That is laziness. That is individual, I don't give a fuck. And apparently he's committed to the cause. Absolute bullshit. He ain't committed. And I think Ten Hag loves him. He must be in love with him because at the end of the day, he's got no balls to drop him. If I'm Man United manager, I'm fucking dropping him because the consistency in his performances in the last 4 games alone has been shocking. Did fuck all against Chelsea. Did fuck all against Liverpool in the league. Did fuck all against Brentford and has done fuck all again today. And he carries on persisting that Rashford's part of the main starting lineup. Absolute clownish from Ten Hag that he's clearly seeing a team that is falling apart right in front of his own eyes, but he's too scared or too pussy to do it. And this is the problem. If we are too scared to make those decisions, then clearly the whole club needs to be sold completely from the Glazers and to Jim Ratcliffe. Bring the Qataris in and restart again and sell the whole team. Because I think that's the only way we are going to go about rescuing this season. If we end up in the Conference League next season, I can't be fucked to Thursday night football. And if they do sack Ten Hag, I hope we've got an ideal replacement. Because this is now sackable. 3 points from 12. We should have won all of these games, and we haven't, due to the lack of quality that is costing Man United. And again, look at Mainu. Since he's been called up for England, I think Gareth Southgate has actually destroyed his United career. I've seen a lack of quality for Mainu in the last 4 or 5 games. And since he got that England call up, look what's happened to him. He's absolutely fallen off a cliff. And the only good bit about him is the goal from last weekend's result against Liverpool. And we ended up celebrating a point then. And we're celebrating a point now. And it's absolutely pathetic. I'm not going to sit here and celebrate points. Just a point. We needed to win this game. And your captain's basically bailed them out again to score a late penalty to get the point. And we're celebrating like we've won the little World Cup. It is shocking. Absolute shocking. Mainu is the future, and I get that. But I've seen a lack of quality ever since he got that England call-up. Playing under Southgate is not going to do Kobe Mainu any favours. I would steer away from the England call-ups and keep yourself for United because that guy is going to ruin that Mainu's career. He's going to absolutely ruin it. And if it carries on, Mainu will become a scapegoat then at United, and everyone will then turn on him. And again, he wasn't great again today. Again, the midfield balance is all over the shop. It's completely pants. We have got no quality in that midfield because Casemiro can't do it anymore. Fernandes is our only goal provider through the midfield. And you've got Eriksen, Mount and Amrabat who don't see fuck all game time. Again, because Ten Hag is too pussy to drop any of those 3 midfielders. If you want to drop players, drop all of them and start a brand new lineup and change the direction of play you want to be able to get United to commence with. Because if you're too afraid to change it, then you are going to get more of these same types of results. And if we don't win our next game, which we now need to survive the season altogether, we've got Coventry in the FA Cup semi-final next weekend. I'm struggling to see how we beat them. And I'm going to hold my hands up. If we play like this against Coventry, we are going to lose. Because Coventry have got load of players that can deal damage, not just in the Championship. And there are contenders to get in the playoffs again and get promoted to the Prem. They're not just going to sit there and go lying down. They are going to go for it, knowing United's vulnerability is massively there. And the vulnerability in our team is a mess. The vulnerability, the goals we concede, the unbalanced play. We play players out of position. We play the same old players due to the favouritism. We've got a manager who is too afraid to make the big calls. And I think this is going to only head one way and the other, the sack. And I think that is what is going to happen. I think his result now has determined the future. Ten Hag is going to have to go. I think that's the only way to do it. It's sad I've got to say it, but I am firmly Ten Hag out. Because now, after what I've witnessed today and the last 3 or 4 games, I ain't convinced. I thought this was the right one. I honestly thought this was the direction we needed to go under this manager that actually wants to get Man United back to the top. But with the Ineos ain't got no clear candidate and they don't know what to do, how can they sack a manager? Again, Ineos are in a mess. And everyone thinks that, they're going to turn it around and bring back stability to this football club, I would wake up and face some perspective. Get out the coma you're in and realise that Ineos ain't the answer, because they're working alongside the Glazers. The club is in an absolute mess. And I did say Bournemouth would be a threat. I did say Bournemouth would deal damage. I said Justin Kluivert and Dominic Solanke would cause big, big problems. And again, both of the players scored both of the Bournemouth goals. And I did say, if that United back four play into their quality, they are going to rip us apart. And they are running rings round our back four again. You're letting an ex-Liverpool reject who is scoring goals for Bournemouth, who at this moment in time does deserve an England call-up because of the football and the goals he's producing for that Bournemouth team. You've got to call him up to that England team because he's producing. And Justin Kluivert, who was at Ajax, Mourinho wanted him at Man United. Didn't happen. Went to Roma. Didn't work out. Has gone to Bournemouth and absolutely woken up their front three. And Dominic Solanke has, got a lot of quality from that because they are providing goals for each other. They are producing things for Bournemouth that Bournemouth were never thinking of doing. Bournemouth have gone under a completely different direction with their manager and their new ownership. And when you've got both of them working in tandem, they are going to produce quality stuff at this Bournemouth team. And Bournemouth, again, if they would have got that penalty, we would be sat here with a defeat, 2 points from 12. I ain't celebrating a point here. We have dropped points again against a team we should be beating. Against relegation-threatened teams, United haven't beaten Bournemouth this season. We've only beaten Fulham once. We've only beaten Brentford once. Sheffield United, we scraped past. Burnley, we scraped past. Chelsea, we have only beaten once. Wolves, we've beaten twice. I think Wolves are the only team in the bottom half of the Premier League that we've beaten twice. Because we didn't lose we lost to Forest away as well. We ain't played Palace away yet. I mean, it goes on. The only team we have beaten in the bottom half away from home and at Old Trafford is Wolves. And that's embarrassing. That is really, really, quite frankly, embarrassing. And that is going to have to start changing. And I think if you can't beat these relegation-threatened sides, the clear indications and the signs are there. They are ready for a new manager. These players are done. The season is over. If we don't get into Europe, the L we are going to get and the embarrassment the fans and supporters are going to get off every other rival, United are going to have nowhere to hide because we're going to deserve it. And you've got to hold your hands up. We deserve the banter we get. We deserve the results we're getting because we have been shit. And it ain't going to get better anytime soon because the football is dreadful. The back four is weak. Playing Aaron Wan-Bissaka at left back when he's not a left back. I mean, how many more times has Erik ten Hag got to keep doing this? We had experienced young left centre backs on that bench today, and you're deploying a back four that is completely out of its depth to defend against quick, pacey Bournemouth front three that can run circles round your back four. And Ten Hag let that happen for that whole of the second half. He let it happen for the whole of the first half. And clearly, these youngsters who are on that bench today are only clearly here to make the numbers up. So United have a fully fit bench. If Ten Hag is bringing these and calling these players up, then why are they getting no fucking experience playing in the positions that United are clearly trying to cover the cracks with? Why is Ten Hag too scared to make big decisions when the going gets tough? I just don't get it. If Ten Hag doesn't want to be here, he's going to have to resign because clearly things are not right. We've clearly given up. We have thrown this season away. We have thrown the towel in. We have waved the white flag and we've given up for the rest of the season. The giving up and the trying has gone. The confidence is shot. The morale is on the fucking floor. And it's going to carry on being like this until big, big change happens. That change ain't coming anytime soon as long as these owners are at this fucking football club. Because at the end of the day, Man United are meant to be setting standards. I couldn't see more standards in than a fucking egg and spoon race. And that is more interesting watching them, this pile of shit, try and play in a United shirt. It sucks. It really, really sucks that whole team today have let everyone down again. 4 fucking games in a row. 3 points from 12. If we would have won all these games, Tottenham have been battered 4-0 by Newcastle today. Villa have not played this weekend yet. They have got Arsenal tomorrow. If Villa didn't win and we would have won today, that would have been pressure on Tottenham, pressure on Villa, and we might have closed down 5th. We ain't even finishing 6th. We are currently commencing the Europa Conference League spots. That is where United are in the league. Europa Conference League. 7th place, Manchester United. Who did that and who was in charge of them? And who got sacked for it? David Moyes. We have basically done a David Moyes. We have turned into David Moyes FC. We have turned into that style of crap that we saw under his management. And he had no style of play. There was no recognisable football, lacking quality. There was all the coaching staff were let go. His job and experience was there to the clear to naked eye again, and we were getting battered everywhere on the pitch. That is what I'm seeing now. I am seeing that in every fucking aspect of United's performances. We are getting destroyed by teams like Bournemouth. Bournemouth have taken 4 fucking points off us this season. 4 fucking points. And it is sickening. It is absolutely sickening to see the mess that this football club, again, finds itself on another weekend that's ruined the fans, ruined the supporters, and fucked everyone off. That Bournemouth midfield, you look at Lewis Cook, look at Barney. I mean, they're running rings around Casemiro, Mainu, and Fernandes. Lewis Cook, I mean, who's he on? Ready, steady, Cook? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to let players run rings around you like that, then those Bournemouth players should be putting on a United shirt, because that is the football you're going to be producing. And I recognise where Bournemouth are going. I actually see a style of play. I see a way of play football. I see a way of attacking flair. I think Bournemouth's most standout player for me, 3 of them mostly today, that caused United problem after problem, was Kirkes, who was a fucking quality left-back. That is what you call recruitment, Manchester United, bringing top quality young left centre-backs like Kirkes, who was running down that United left flank, absolutely embarrassing the hell out of Delo, Dominic Solanke, and Justin Kluivert. You're letting these 3 batter the hell out of you. But I'm not surprised by it. We've got Harry Maguire, Kabwala, Delo, and Wan-Bissaka. Do you honestly think that Bournemouth team is scared? That Bournemouth team are not scared of Manchester United. They don't see a threat. They don't see quality. They don't see pussies trying to play crap football every week. Bournemouth's football's incredible. And you've got to applaud what they've done. And I said Bournemouth would cause threats. But they have nearly done the double. But they've still taken 4 points. Something that's not ever happened to Bournemouth in their history. So they've kind of broken a football record. Football history has been broken because Bournemouth have taken 4 points out of a possible 6 of a club like Manchester United. But against clubs like Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham and Chelsea, Bournemouth have struggled. It says a lot. It says the direction those clubs are going and the direction the Man United are going in. It is night and day. And I think the situation we're in now, I think Ineos are going to make their mind up. I think they're going to know Ten Hag's going to be a goner. I would be surprised come the end of the season if we somehow scrape into the FA Cup final. We ain't winning it because it will be a Manchester derby again in that FA Cup final, where in that final again, Manchester United are going to get battered. We are going to get destroyed. We're going to get ripped apart, and that will be the end of Ten Hag. That will be the final nail in the coffin of Eric Ten Hag's state of Man United manager. And the problem is, if you don't have a backup and you don't have resolutions to replacing that manager, the next season's going to be shit even more, because how are you going to be able to rebuild this team? How are you going to be able to attract the best players? These players are not going to want to come here. They're going to look at Man United and the shit and the turmoil we are in again. It's a big L. It's a big embarrassment, and it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking that we carry on playing the shit football in the last 4 games where there's no dynamics, no identity, no quality. a lack of ideas, players that are fighting for themselves and themselves only, players in that team that have clearly only in that team for clear favouritism. We've got a manager who's completely out of his depth, too pussy to make big decisions in certain aspects of the game, and is too afraid to make these decisions because he knows he faces the chop. And I think Ten Hag already knows that he's a dead man walking. He probably already knows the United job's going to go in the summer. He's going to be sacked. He's going to be out of a job. But I think if Ten Hag went to a club like Man City, he would succeed. If he went to a club like Chelsea, he would succeed. Spurs, Arsenal, Villa, Newcastle. Eric Ten Hag would succeed at another top 6 club because there'd be a proper structure, proper backing, players being brought in, players being got rid of, players being sold. At Man United, it's financial fair play, sell to buy. Financial fair play, sell to buy. Sacking the manager every 2 years ain't the answer, but this is the final nail in the coffin for me. This is the final straw. I've had enough. I am officially Ten Hag out. I want this guy gone. But if they bring in a replacement like Southgate, fuck that, because I ain't doing it. And if anyone's going to get any mentions today as player of the match, it's the fans. It's the supporters who, again, have given up all their time, their money, their hard work to go and watch that pile of dog poo perform shit again on the bottom of their shoes. Don't go and watch them. Keep your money and go and do something more exciting than watch this pile of dog crap perform shit week after week after week after week. That's all I'm saying on this now. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button and the share button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, remember to always remember the notification bell. Put the bell on all times to receive dedicated brand new content planned for the rest of this year in 2024. For more Fortnite, Rocket League, EAFC, Fall Guys will be making a return soon, F1, previews, match reactions. We've got the summer transfer window in 2024 covered right throughout Europe, EFL, the Premier League. And the next game we will be talking about and the next talking point and chat we'll be having will be the FA Cup semi-final preview for next Sunday's FA Cup semi-final between Sky Bet Championship, Coventry City, and obviously Manchester United. That preview will be in the early hours, either a Thursday morning or we're going to do it Thursday evening. So look out for that. Go and enjoy the rest of the weekend. This weekend's been shit for me. Poor United. Excuse after excuse. Same old United, same old story. This is going to end one way and one way only. Eric Ten Hag will be gone at the end of the season. See you on the next one. What a joke.